Alright, so we're live. So I'm going to trust that this is actually working. Now we're going to get the Facebook thing started, and then we'll get started. Okay, now to get the Facebook started, we're going to try this front-facing camera thing. Because I don't want anyone to think that I learned how to play the viola. Let's think that I'm not that talented. Okay. From this event, I think I can stream from the event. Let's see, which event? Aha, live video. Now, how do I switch the camera to get a front-facing camera? Then, alright, so I think we're rolling with a front-facing camera. I'm going to do this one more check. One more check. Let's see. Should be streaming from the event right now, I think. Am I streaming from this event? I can't tell. Uh-oh. Edit a video. Okay, yes, I am streaming from the event. The camera angle is very strange. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to create as good of a virtual concert experience as I can. There's a learning curve here. I'm streaming from both YouTube and Facebook. Okay. I am going to get started. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe we'll turn this one more time. Okay, thank you for your patience. There's a learning curve to doing virtual concerts, and we're still figuring out some of the kinks, so thank you for standing by. Welcome to my second Classical Music Saturday Blue Chair session, which is the virtual version of the classical open mic that I've run in Boston at Bebop. Today I have a little bit more of a somber program prepared for you, because today is Easter Vigil, which my family celebrates as we are Catholic, and at sundown we will celebrate the resurrection of Jesus coming from the tomb. So I thought I would create a program that reflected that particular mood. I'm going to start with Cello Suite Number 2 in D minor by Johann Sebastian Bach. This was one of the first Baroque pieces I ever listened to as a child. I heard the bassist Edgar Meyer play this, and I thought it was one of the more beautiful pieces of music I ever heard. So if you were with me last week, we talked a little bit about Baroque dance suites and their form and their predictability. One of the things I find most interesting about Bach himself is that he takes a very familiar standard format and he creates something unique with it every time. So D minor is generally agreed to be one of the saddest keys ever. Bach also flips this on his head by introducing brief moments of sunshine, brief moments of a major tonality before falling back into the general lowness of D minor. So that's enough introduction. Here's the prelude. All right, so if you have been to any of my previous classical open mic concerts before, you would know that the next movement in this particular form is an allemande, which is your dance that comes from France. Not from France, from Germany, and it's not too fast, not too slow. It's more of a walking pace kind of dance. So this is your allemande in D minor. Okay, the next movement of your Baroque dance suite this afternoon is a courant, which is your fast dance in 3, which I believe also comes from France. Just need a moment here. I'm a little stiff this afternoon. This one really hurts. Okay. Following your current, we have a Sarabands again. This is a slow dance in 3, with ties to a traditional dance from South America. And that's all I'll say about this one. Alright, so now we're coming to one of my favorite types of movements in these Baroque dance suites. This is the minuet form, which is 2 contrasting small pieces woven together to make one piece. This particular minuet in particular is, it demonstrates Bach's proficiency at keyboard recording, keyboard composing, and I guess what I'm trying to say is this particular movement demonstrates that Bach was definitely more of a keyboard player than he was a string player, because we have a lot of rolling chords with some very, very large intervals between many of the notes. And when I've heard other musicians play this, I'm often left with the impression that there's more than one instrument playing. That's one of the beauties of this particular minuet. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to play it and hope that you guys enjoy this as much as I do. All right, we're coming up to the last movement of our Baroque dance suite this afternoon. And that's a jig. So Edgar Meyer, again, was one of the first classical musicians I heard play this particular movement. And I've never really gotten over it. And every time I study it or try to play it, I'm seeking to emulate him a little bit, I think, which puts me at a slight disadvantage given that my instrument is about a quarter the size of his, since he plays an upright bass and I play viola, but we're gonna try anyway. That is the end of J.S. Bach's Cello Suites in D minor. Before I play the big crazy modern viola thing that I have prepared for you today, I'm going to return to an old etude that I studied in high school that I have also recently tortured a couple of students with. This comes from the Matzes collection. Again, I'm very, very fond of the Matzes collection because they're short studies in different techniques. They were originally composed for violin, so there are some adaptations that have had to be made to accommodate some of the challenges that come with playing viola, but I'm fond of them anyway. So I'm going to play number 7. When I turn my page to it. This is Cantabile, which is Matzes Etude number 7. It's slow, and you're supposed to give off the impression that you're singing. So I am particularly fond of this one because it sounds like a chant. It sounds almost like a meditation, but it also has some incredible viola diva moments in it. It's also not very long. This is the Cantabile. I really do love that. I never get tired of playing it or torturing my students with it. So this next piece is not one that you're going to leave humming. This is a very, very near and dear to my heart piece. I first studied it when I was a junior in college. I played this in my junior recital, and I've played it at a couple of classical open mics when there's been a receptive audience. This is Shahagir by the Armenian-American composer Alan Hovhannes. His family immigrated to the Boston area around the year 1908, 1910. I don't have my notes on him pulled up at the moment. But in the year 1915, that was the year that the Armenian genocide occurred, and Alan Hovhannis's family escaped that by a couple of years. He published this piece in 1945. There were a couple of things happening around that time, like a Second World War and another genocide of a much larger scale happening. And if I'm not mistaken, he composed this piece in Somerville, Massachusetts, down the street from where I am right now. And I recently introduced to this piece to a friend who is of Armenian descent, and they have taken it and turned it into something quite special. I'm going to play the version of this piece that I know, and it's not traditionally beautiful, but it sticks with you, or at least my experience with this piece is that it sticks with you, and I hope to move anyone watching and listening in a similar fashion. So this is Shahagir by Alan Hovhannis. Okay. So that's your high modern viola piece for you. I just had to double check. This was published in 1945. I had a slight moment of panic where I thought I completely misquoted you guys there. So, at the last minute, I decided I wanted to play a piece of American classical fiddlehead music. This composer that I'm sure many of you have heard of by the name of Mark O'Connor. And he wrote this piece called Appalachia Waltz. And I'm feeling right now that it would be a perfect sort of breather piece after something like Shahagir. So this is Appalachia Waltz. And full disclosure, I learned this by ear when I was 17. I've maybe looked at the music for this once, so you're not going to hear exactly what Mark O'Connor plays. In fact, I would be very surprised if he ever plays this the same way more than once. This is Appalachia Waltz. Okay, we have just enough time for one more thing. So I did promise a couple of people that I would do an Easter hymn, and I had to think about which one I really, really liked. And I decided I would do one that my mother used to sing to me a lot, and one that I've also heard the great country legends Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash sing together. Now I'm a little more nervous because it just dawned on me this is the first time I'm really singing by myself live for a virtual audience. So here goes nothing. If you know this and you feel inclined to sing along with me, I will feel you singing along with me in spirit. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the stone was rolled away? All right, that concludes our classical music wheelchair sessions this afternoon. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week, Saturday around 4 p.m. Thank you so much.